Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day, thanks in a large part to our pals at the VFS School of Game Design. Thank you so much, Vancouver Film School. Today's rundown is dedicated to Darren Thesson-King, who is so happy he found us. We're happy you found us too. This rundown is all yours. The massive Gamescom event is kicked off in Cologne, Germany, and a game maker that's made loads of announcements is Nintendo. Coinciding with Gamescom, Nintendo has quietly begun taking pre-orders for the highly anticipated SNES Classic through several online retailers. Best Buy and Amazon both started taking pre-orders late last night, but unfortunately they've already sold out of their initial stock. The good news is that Nintendo has vowed to increase their manufacturing output of the SNES Classic, so it will hopefully be easier to find when it comes out next month. One thing that is getting easier are the games themselves. Nintendo has announced a cool new feature for the SNES Classic that will make all the games a little less challenging. We already know that each game would allow users to save or suspend their game from any point, unlike the original SNES games, and now Nintendo has revealed that you'll also be able to rewind games from the suspend points as well. This means that if you screw up, you'll be able to go back a few seconds and try again, although I've never seen anyone who sucks this badly at Super Mario World. The rewind feature will be available in the North American, Japanese, and European versions of the SNES Classic. If you can't get your hands on the retro system, here's something that might be a little easier to find. Nintendo of Europe has announced a new edition of the 3DS XL, which is made to look like the European version of the Super Nintendo. Since many of the SNES Classic games are already available on the 3DS, this should be a nice backup if you can't get the actual SNES Classic. It hits Europe in October, but Nintendo hasn't said if North America will be getting something similar. In other Nintendo news from Gamescom, they've unveiled the new fighter from their motion-sensing brawler ARMS. The new character is named Lola Pop, and she has an assortment of different weapons on the end of her extendable arms, including nunchucks and shields. She also comes with her own stage, and like all the other DLC for the game, she'll be free for all players. She'll be included in the big version 3 update for the game, which begins rolling out this Friday. Nintendo's other new Switch game, Splatoon 2, is getting some new content of its own. First up, players are getting a new weapon called the Bubble Blower, which arrives September 2nd. 2 new stages are also on the way, a new Salmon Run stage called Squid Jump, which arrives tomorrow, and a new Turf War and Ranked Battle stage called Manta Maria that follows on August 26th. Like ARMS, all the new DLC content for Splatoon 2 is free for all players. One of the best game developers in the world is conquering the Age of Empires series. In a surprise announcement at Gamescom, Microsoft announced the all-new game Age of Empires 4, and it's being developed by Vancouver-based Relic Entertainment. They're known for creating some of the best real-time strategy games in the world, including Company of Heroes and Dawn of War, so taking on the Age of Empires series seems like a perfect match. We haven't seen any gameplay footage yet, but judging by the cinematic teaser trailer, it looks like Age of Empires 4 will span historical eras that should be familiar to fans of the series, including ancient Rome and the American Revolution. We can't wait to see what Relic Entertainment can do with the franchise. Relic is actually a subsidiary of Sega, and this isn't the first time a Sega subsidiary has worked with Microsoft on an RTS game. Another Sega-owned studio, the Creative Assembly, made the recent Halo Wars 2. There's no release window yet for Age of Empires 4, although we probably won't be seeing it until at least next year. If you can't wait until then, Age of Empires Definitive Edition, a remastered version of the original game, will hit the PC on October 19th. Microsoft has also announced that they're working on definitive editions of the second and third games as well, with more details on those coming soon. And one of the biggest game reveals at Gamescom in Germany has a direct connection to the Sega Dreamcast. The first teaser trailer for Shenmue III has been unveiled at the event, giving fans a brief look at the characters, environments, and combat, as well as the burgeoning bond between the main character Ryo and the young woman Shenhua. Up until now, the only footage that's been released so far has been from early tech demos, so this is the first footage we've seen from the actual game, and it's looking pretty good. The developers didn't want it to look too modern or realistic, and instead wanted it to have a similar look and feel to the first 2 Shenmue games, which were released on the Sega Dreamcast in 1999 and 2001 respectively. Fans had been waiting all that time for a third installment, and the only reason it's finally being made now is thanks to a record-breaking Kickstarter campaign in 2015. Given the lasting legacy of the first 2 games, Shenmue III obviously has very high expectations to meet, and director Yu Suzuki promises that the game won't disappoint. It comes out next year. Ubisoft didn't bring a skeleton crew to Gamescom this year. They've announced that their open-world racing game, The Crew 2, will cross the finish line on March 16, 2018, with a beta test taking place in the coming months. Registrations for the beta are available now on the game's official website, and we'll let you know when dates for that are announced. The Crew 2 is a sequel to the 2014 racing game, although unlike its predecessor, it will allow players to race in not just cars, but planes, motorcycles, and boats as well. Best of all, players will be able to switch back and forth between the different vehicle types on the fly using the new Fast Fave feature, which the developers hope will open up a new sense of exploration and freedom in the game.
When you are in New York City, taking a plane, flying between buildings, and switch with the Fast Fave feature, switch from the plane to the boat, and then between the Liberty Statue, and it's amazing. So we wanted to have that kind of freedom, explore the world without barriers, and saying, okay, cruise the whole USA with a car, with a boat, or even with a plane.
You'll be able to catch the rest of that interview on our channel tomorrow. Although the first Crew game wasn't a massive success when it first launched, it did get more and more popular as time went on, eventually selling 2 million copies and maintaining a loyal online community. Ubisoft is hoping to capitalize on that with the sequel, satisfying existing players and bringing in new ones. In other Ubisoft news, the publisher has announced an all-new game in the city-building Anno series called Anno 1800. As you can probably guess from the title, Anno 1800 will take place in the 1800s, with players creating their own bustling metropolises in the early industrial era. That arrives late next year. Netflix hasn't finished unleashing the fear with their hit series Stranger Things. With the second season of the show set to debut soon, they're already planning to create a third and fourth season. Speaking with Vulture, the show's creators Ross and Matt Duffer revealed that Netflix has already greenlit a third season, and they've begun having discussions about a fourth. Don't expect Stranger Things to go on forever, though. The Duffer brothers add that they hope to end the show with the fourth season rather than have it drag on and on until it becomes stale, like many other shows do. There's no release window yet for the third and fourth seasons, but you know we'll have more details as they develop. In the meantime, the second season arrives October 27th, just in time for Halloween. That does it for the rundown today. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about game design, visit our pals at VFS.edu. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new rundown for you. But in the meantime, watch some of the other content we've been making. And if you dig it, hit subscribe, okay?